So I have a man, and fuck the rental car.
I used to be a travel agent and I used to do a lot of rental car bookings. And then about a year ago, I had to rent a car for myself for the very first time. And what was shocking is the industry has not changed at all since the 1990s when I was a travel agent. So I'm going to tell you some things about the rental car industry. And, if you want to know a little bit about hotels and airlines, I can talk about those too. But let's start with the rental car industry. When you rent a car, it does not include gasoline, taxes, optional insurance. There can be geographic restrictions put on the car, and you have to be 25 and older with a driver's license and a credit card, not a debit card, in the same name. Those are your base rules. By geographic restrictions, that means that you may not be allowed to take the car out of state, or you may not be allowed to take the car over the borders into another country. Say you're renting a car in Texas or California. You're probably not allowed to take it to Mexico. If you're renting a car up in, say, Maine, you're probably not allowed to take it over the border into Canada. Or if you're renting a car in Buffalo, New York, probably the same. So those are things you need to know. The credit card and the driver's license in your own name is arbitrary as all get out, and I hate it. Here's something else you must know when you rent a car, and that is that if you rent a car locally, there will usually be an additional deposit, especially if you go pick it up at the airport. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to deal with that deposit, there's not a whole lot you can do because they're going to check your residency. So be aware that you usually have to pay a deposit to rent a car local to you. Also, when you pick up a car locally or anywhere really, make sure you return it with the same amount of gas in it that you were given it, because if you don't, they're going to charge you an exorbitant refueling cost. Some of them now have a gas plan. Those are great. Now, what if you're under 25 and you want to rent a car? You need to be over 21, and Enterprise will usually do it, and sometimes Enterprise will do it with a debit card. Go to non-airport locations to rent a car if you really need to rent a car. Some dealerships will actually rent you a car, so that's something else you can look into it. They're few and far between, but it is another option if you really, really need that rental car. So, in short, the rental car industry is horrible, and it is really, really geared towards businessmen and leisure travelers, not locals. Know that going in. Thanks.